The relations between 2013 and beyond is a time when there were a number of points of contention have emerged. It was during this period that the Indo-US strategic partnership has been increased and enhanced, and China found that the 2005 nuclear deal, the Indian and the United States Defense Cooperation Agreement, which was made for 10 years in 2005 and got extended in 2015. So all these factors started, demonstrating to China that India is trying to turn toward the United States. China-Pakistan relations, as was seen by India as one of the factors, collusive relations, not only in the economic but defense, military, as far as the nuclear and missile field, a huge type of collusive interest was taking place. At the same time, China expanded its own naval influence and what the Americans call as a string of pearls, trying to gain access and then control over a number of ports in the Indian Ocean region, and that is where the Chinese were India was concerned, and even the United States was concerned about the access to the various ports by the Chinese. During this period from 1979 onwards, it would be seen that Chinese comprehensive national power, as they say, the comprehensive national power of China has increased, and China started competing now with the United States. It emerged as the second largest economy in the world. It emerged as a technology superpower, sort of, and it started dominating some of the areas of manufacturing, pharma, and many various other sectors. So that is the situation which had led to the Chinese continuing to contest now in the global sphere and the international sphere. Now what happened beyond 2013 is again very interesting again, and it has relevance to the India-China relations as of now as well. We see in China the rise of President Xi Jinping, and he was not only the president, he was a multi-hatted leader, General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, Chairman of the Central Military Commission, and increasingly he assumed the mantle that the presidency in perpetuity is what appeared to be the aim of President Xi Jinping. So you have a leader in China who had developed a strong image, a strong and who also wanted to expand further. He had the concept of the Chinese dream, and under the Chinese dream, one of the important expansion projects was, as we have discussed many times, is the Belt and Road Initiative. It has got two arms, one which goes on the continental sphere, the Silk Road economic belt, and one which goes the maritime sphere, continues through the Indian Ocean in the maritime sphere and on the continental sphere through Eurasia, touching on to Europe. Now this gigantic plan is something which has been received a fillip after President Xi Jinping has taken office, and we have seen it develop further. Along with this, from the Indian point of view, the part of BRI was the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which passes through Jammu and Kashmir, which is an integral part of India. Then we have the China-Myanmar Economic Corridor. Then we have expansion in South Asia, including the control of ports such as Hambantota in Sri Lanka. So these are the issues which have continuously seen India-China developing a competition of sort. At this stage I see it's only as a competition. Now beyond 2013 again you have in India, from the Indian perspective you see, we have the rise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is a nationalist right-wing government in India with a strong image of a security-centric profile, and who wants to portray India's national power and outreach in the region and beyond. A deeper partnership has been developed with the United States, building people-to-people relations and leaders-to-leaders, such as We have heard of that Howdy Modi function happened in Houston in the past, or President Trump being invited here and big showbiz being made. So this sort of a relation, now these are signals of very strategic partnership or alliance to adversaries such as the Chinese, and that's where I think they have developed the concern. Enhancing of India defense, Indo-Pacific defense cooperation between India and the United States, and presently now you have development of the Quad. Quad started initially as a forum for discussion of diplomatic and political aspects, but today has developed in what China may perceive as a military partnership, if not an alliance. And Chinese analysts have been writing about that Quad is a mini NATO, or NATO in the Asian NATO. Of course, I don't see Quad anywhere near NATO, or there is no collective architecture, and India has very clearly said that we will not form a part of any alliance. But the Chinese may perceive it as an alliance per se, and that is where I think the Quad signaling of Australian participation can be seen. As far as Chinese perspective is concerned, if we look at Quad, in Quad the other members other than India are Australia and Japan. Now both Australia and Japan are treaty strategic allies bound by a treaty to the United States. India is only a strategic partner. But if you see from the Chinese perspective, they may feel that this is a sort of alliance being developed. At the same time, India is the only country which has opposed the Belt and Road Initiative by President Xi Jinping. All countries have participated, including the United States. They have participated in the Belt and Road Initiative forums from time to time. I mean, not physical participation, but forum and discussion, but India has completely banned and rejected this. So that is the type of competition and conflict which is being developed between India and China. Despite this, the equilibrium is being maintained, and this equilibrium is being maintained through political, economic and trade relations, coordination and cooperation in various fields, in multilateral and in international forums, particularly with reference to climate change, and India and China had cooperated in the multilateral forum, and they have demonstrated the concern for each other's strategic interests. As far as the boundary is concerned, it was agreed that there will be this issue till resolved. We will stick to the agreements. But then, if you see the breach of trust, because of the underlying long contestation which is envisaged and after 60s and beyond, a breach of trust was inevitable if we see two rising powers in the same region. And this is where the concerns emerge, where unilateralism is being seen as in the garb of multilateralism. Then you have the Jammu and Kashmir, India, change of status quo has been taken by China as directed towards it for change of status quo of Aksai Chin. Infrastructure build-up, we already discussed this issue, and infrastructure build-up is another factor which is becoming a threat. And China is seeing the alliance of democracies becoming a threat to Chinese expansion of its own interests, and that is, I think, also manifesting in the economic sphere with state capitalism in contesting with the market capitalism.